Models of curriculum development, that is by Ralph Taylor's model, and it will be presented by me, Mr. Vincent. And we will first have to consider the origin of the Ralph Taylor. That is, Ralph Taylor was a principal designer of the National Assessment of Educational Progress, and he was born in 1902 and died in 1994. The next part is what we will majorly focus on. That is the Ralph Taylor versus what we call the John Dee way. And our focus will be on the graph. That is the representation of the John Dee way and Ralph Taylor. And the Ralph Taylor became that is a teaching addict. And Taylor says that everyone who has to design a curriculum will have to go first to three sources. That is the students, the society, and the content requirements. Those are the shareholders. And having in mind these elements, four basic questions must be answered to develop a successful curriculum. And we'll consider those basic questions as we move along. That is the explanation of the Taylor's model. Ralph Taylor's curriculum model is a framework for designing and evaluating curriculum changes. It consists of four fundamental questions, that is often referred to as the Taylor's rationale. In the context of Kenya or any other educational system, this model can be applied as follows. That is the rationale. The rationale itself is number one, what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? What educational experiences are likely to attain the purposes? How can these educational experiences be organized effectively? How can we determine whether these purposes are attained? And that is the rationale, that is the design, the graphical representation, is it accepted, the cost benefit, the market analysis, the labor market, and the shareholder point of view. The first question that was, what are the objectives? Under the objectives, we are considering the Kenyan fashion. In Kenya, the first step could be to define clear and specific educational objectives. This may involve considering the country's educational goals, the needs of students, the demands of the market. Objectives should align with the national curriculum framework and the educational policies. Question number two, what educational experiences will attain these objectives? Our own focus was the Kenyan context. Educators and curriculum developers could need to determine what teaching methods, content, and learning experiences will help students achieve the defined objectives. This might involve selecting appropriate subjects, topics, instructional strategies that cater to the needs and diversity of Kenyan students. And under that, we will consider that is sources for educational experience should be the student, the society, and the subject. The student, society, and the subject. That is the student, that is the main party. The society, the societal needs, and the subject matter of discussion. Question number three, under Taylor's rationale. How can these educational experiences be effectively organized? Once the educational experiences are identified, the curriculum planners should decide on the most effective way to organize these experiences. This may include structuring the curriculum, creating lesson plans, and establishing a coherent sequence of instructions. In Kenya, it is important to consider the cultural, social, economic context when organizing the cultural, social, and economic context when organizing the curriculum. Question number four, how can we determine whether the objectives are being met? In Kenya, assessment evaluation process could be crucial to determine if the educational objectives are being achieved. This step could involve developing appropriate assessment tools such as exams and performance assessment to measure students' progress and ensure alignment with the defined objectives. That is the rationale number four. Under the expanded model, that is in graphical representation, the first one, that is the sources. We have sources of experiences, educational experiences. The first one was the students, who are the main parties, the society, the societal needs. For example, if we want an expert in ID, what are the new expectation of the market? For example, the current, the trending AI, the subject matter. That is number two. The tentative general objectives. What are the objectives of our new curriculum that you want to define? Then number three, that is the screens. Philosophy of education and psychology of learning. Then number four, we have what we call precise instructional objectives. After we have developed all these, what are we supposed to do? We should have what we call the precise instructional objectives, and under that, that is selection of learning experiences, organization of learning experiences, direction of learning experiences, and evaluation of learning experience. That is the expanded model of the Taylor's rationale. And those are the main categories. The Ralph Taylor's curriculum development, that is the graphical representation. Then we have, in summary, what do we have to say? In summary, the Ralph Taylor curriculum change model can be applied in Kenya to design and assess the effectiveness of educational programs by focusing on clear objectives, appropriate learning experiences, organized curriculum structures, and robust evaluation processes, all while considering the unique needs and context of the Kenyan educational system. That is a summary of what Ralph Taylor intended to do, and under what we call the models of curriculum change, and Ralph Taylor's model of curriculum development. It has been nice being with you, and that is the end of our discussion. Thank you. Till next time. Bye bye.